Here's a sample.
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. So I think we're going to get started while people join. We eventually have new registrations about 20 between this. So I think we'll get started. We're recording it, so we're going to be able to replay for people later. Can everybody hear me? And I'm also live streaming. Okay. Can we hear me now?
Hello, good afternoon. Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. So I think we'll get started while we wait for people to join. We're recording it, so we're going to make the recording available to people later. Okay.
Hello,
Some
Mr.
people are
Lolade.
asking.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm fine, ma.
This is Tolu.
Yes, I can hear you. How are you, ma?
Okay. Very well, thank you.
Okay. So I'm going to anchor today's info session, at least the beginning and the end of it. Then just talk about the partnership a bit and all of that. Then we'll pass it on to MSBM. All right. So we're recording this, by the way, and we're going to, all of this I'm saying, we're still going to cut it out. Then we're going to use the recording later for people to be able to join, or for people to be able to watch later. All right? Okay. So let's get started. Glory, can you get us started, please? Glory on the call. Hello? Just to be sure, can everybody hear me?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, maybe it's just Glory who can't hear me.
Yes.
All right, maybe I'll just get started in. All right, this is where our recording and editing would officially start from. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, good evening, or good night, depending on where you're joining us from. My name is Ololade Otaimi. I'm the founder and CEO of the Orbra company and Orbra Leadership Institute. And today we are starting something very revolutionary. We are officially launching our partnership with the Metropolitan School of Business and Management, UK. And I have some of the best people to work with here with me. I have some of my colleagues here, Glory, Ayo, Juliet, Camila, and all the other folks from the Orbra company and the Orbra Institute. And I have with me Mrs. Tolu and Ms. Fatima from Metropolitan School of Business and Management. But before I allow them to speak, I'm going to get started to talk a bit about the history of this partnership, the history of Orbra Leadership Institute, and how we got to this point so that people would understand. So Orbra Leadership Institute started in 2017 as purely online leadership institute. The goal was simple. The goal was a bit of background. So in 2017, I went for a program in the United States called the Mandela Washington Fellowship Program. It's a program sponsored and started by President Barack Obama. And that program brought together some of the brightest young minds in Africa. And it was centered around figuring out how Africans can learn from people across the world and come and implement the things they've learned back home in Africa. So I was privileged to be in that program. And it was after that program that I realized something, that Africans are one of the smartest set of people in the world. But the reality that we face on the continent does not necessarily reflect that. If you see Africans outside of Africa, you see how they are thriving. So the question is, how do we then bring that reality back home? So we realized that leadership was a big problem, and that was how we founded Orbra Leadership Institute, to sort of solve that leadership deficit. And we started with our online leadership institute, and we went from there to start doing physical trainings. And in the first year, we trained close to 2,000 leaders and entrepreneurs. So that's how Orbra Leadership Institute started in 2017. But fast forward a few years after, we wanted to take it further to start offering higher education programs. And that quest is what led to this partnership with Metropolitan School of Business and Management. And here we are launching this today to be able to start offering higher education programs, degree programs, and diploma programs right here from Africa in partnership with the Metropolitan School of Business and Management. And there are more interesting twists to this that allow the MSBM team focus on and talk about. You know, it's not your regular degree, it's not your regular degree program. And one of the things that I would like to encourage everyone who's going to watch this or who is here on this call right now about is that for us, the goal is to get as many people as possible to be as educated as possible, because the more educated you are, the better you are at solving critical problems in your community. And education, we believe, is a key pathway to doing that. We have our partners here from the Metropolitan School of Business and Management. We have our guest speaker, Ms. Fatima. We have Ms. Tolu, who is the CEO of the Metropolitan School of Business and Management as well. So I think before Ms. Fatima takes the floor, Ms. Tolu, do you have any word for our listeners or those who are watching us? I don't know if Mrs. Tolu is still there.
Hello, Mrs. Tolu.
Okay, while we wait for Mrs. Tolu to join, Mrs. Fatima, over to you. Ms. Fatima is one of the people who make things happen at the Metropolitan School of Business and Management in the UK. And the way our partnership works is this: the Orbra Leadership Institute manages, I would say, the administrative end of things the for the African phase of this partnership, while the MSBM has the technology. They have a very robust tech system, and then the institutes then issue the degrees, right? So it's sort of like a three-pronged partnership, like very interesting partnership. And I'd like Ms. Fatima to just shed some light on how the programs work, what people should expect, and things like that. So, Ms. Fatima, over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Oralade. It is a pleasure to be a part of this information session. And on behalf of Metropolitan School of Business and Management, I thank everyone for their time today to join us. As Mr. Olalade mentioned, I am Fatma. I am the CEO at MSBM. Um, and I've joined our esteemed partner, the Orbra Learning Institute, um, today because it marks a major milestone in our shared journey. And it's built on a deep commitment to educational access, transformation, and empowerment. The partnership between MSBM and OLI is not just strategic, it is profoundly purposeful. At MSBM, we proudly operate as a social edtech enterprise. This means we use technology not only to deliver education, but to drive real social change. Our mission is rooted in a belief that education should not be a privilege, it should be a right to each individual. And our goal is simple yet powerful: to democratize executive education or education in general and make it truly accessible to professionals around the world, especially across Africa. Africa holds a special place in this mission, with the fast growing population and entrepreneurial spirit and hunger for opportunity. The continent is brimming with potential. Yet too many people are held back by barriers like cost, time, distance, and access. At MSBM and through this partnership, we are committed to bringing down those barriers. Um, we are already present in more than 30 African countries, and through this partnership with OLI, we aim to deepen our footprint, localize impact, and change more lives at a scale. With over 600,000 learners globally and a presence in 190 countries, we deliver affordable, flexible, and globally recognized online programs tailored for today's working professionals. So now how our curriculum work. Our curriculum blends academic excellence with real world application, so that prepares our learners not just for their next job or their next career move, but for the next decade of leadership and innovation. So our collaboration with OLI strengthens this vision. OLI's deep regional understanding and dedication to talent development makes them the ideal partner in expanding access to career relevant skills focused education across the continent. So today we'll introduce a different range of programs available through this partnership, how you can enroll, the processes and how the programs work, what is the strength of the program, like what are the accreditations and how the program work, and all that. So whether you are here to develop your influence, sharpen your strategy, or explore the intersection of technology and leadership, this partnership is built to serve your growth. Now, how MSBM program works, or how this partnership works. Now, MSBM, like I said, we are a social edtech enterprise. We offer different degree, diploma levels, and executive level education programs. Through our partnership with OLI, we have tried to reduce the costs marginally across all the programs so that it can be made accessible to um, the masses, to the people for whom the cost or the time is a barrier. So we have introduced a platform where you can be studying at your own pace, You can be taking lectures at your own pace. You'll be interacting with different people. You'll be part of a community. You'll be part of the alumni network, and you'll be growing throughout this process. Our courses, they are accredited by different world-renowned bodies, such as UCAM, which is in Spain, or be it Azteca University in Mexico or Gurney American University in Europe. So we have different partnerships across UK, Europe, and USA. So we have partnerships like University of Gloucestershire in the UK, International American University in US. So all these partnerships, we are joining forces to make sure that these programs are accessible and affordable to the masses through OLI Institute. All you need to do is contact the OLI team and show your interest in what programs are you looking to develop your skills in. Their team will guide you on how to go about the program. It could be executive education, it could be face-to-face trainings, it could be online trainings, it could be a full degree diploma program, or even a short course. Their team will actually guide you how to enroll in the program. Everything is available online. You can even access it with your mobile phone. You don't need to have a system or a laptop to be taking these programs. They are very easy. They're broken down into smaller bite-sized courses for you to understand, for everyone to understand. And in this, we actually, in all this effort, our main goal is to make it easy, accessible, and affordable for each one of you, for each person in the African region. Because there's one thing about the African region, they're very resilient. They are very, very resilient. And the world needs to recognize this. And we feel education is the key for this. I know education is a big thing. Education is really cherished in the African region as it is in the Asian region. But somewhere we have not been able to showcase this to the world. And this partnership is our way, or is an opportunity to present or to help the African talent to be showcased globally. So this is what we are looking at now. Our executive programs or our short courses, they also are accredited by CPT, which means continuous professional development body. That means that they too count towards certain credit hours. So if you're doing like ACCA or these sort of courses, they actually add on to your credit hours. How that works, let's not get into the nitty-gritties. When you're looking at a specific program, you can get the details. I'm sure you'll be able to get the details. But this is the general structure. I hope that I've covered what was needed. Mr. Ololade, do we have any questions or anything that specific that
I think I have some questions and comments to add, so that because there are questions that we've been getting since we've been speaking to people about this, just doing our market research. And I have some of them here, and I'm going to be asking you so that our listeners and viewers can also catch on. So say, for example, someone has not finished their A levels, or they don't have, in Nigeria, we call it the WAEC certificate. Or can they still come and learn and get a degree?
Yes, they can. So there is a pathway to it. Now, when I say that we want to make education accessible to everyone, it includes everyone, because at MSBM, we have realized that not everyone can be an educational genius. You can have your genius in something else. You might not clear your A levels exams or your GEE or your WIAC, but you could be really good at something else. That should not stop your educational journey, right? So we have a foundational level 3 courses that you can take with us that will help you come to the next pathway. So you can take level 3, then level 4, level 5, and it'll take you to up to the doctorate degree level. We have the entire pathway put in place.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I like about that is we have tagged that the come as you are model, where we say it doesn't matter what your educational qualification is, it doesn't matter what your educational degree is, it doesn't matter if you don't even have, just come as you are. The system that has been designed in a way that it helps you, to find your path, right?
Yes. To embrace you, the system has been designed in a manner to embrace you and help you grow, no matter at what point or at what stage you are. MSBM and our system has been created in a manner that will embrace everyone and will help them grow.
Yeah. So there's something that is very prevalent in Nigeria and in Africa generally, where if you want to do a master's degree, for example, you need to have a certain level of you need to have passed up to a certain level or performed up to a certain level in your undergraduate degree, in your bachelor's degree, for you to be able to get into a master's program here in Nigeria particularly, and it's like that in other African countries. How does
like
MSBM help people? Okay, how does MSBM and this partnership help people who did not do well in their bachelor's but still want to pursue a master's?
See, that's what the point is all about. That's what inclusivity is. We cannot let someone be because they were not able to perform in a particular level. Let's say it could be a very bright student who has done really well across his academic career, but due to certain circumstances, he was not able to do good in his bachelor's. We cannot just make him an outcast and be like, okay, no, now you cannot go further because you did not perform well in so and so exam. We don't believe in that. We are actually trying to break those barriers and we are trying to come out of it. Now, there are a lot of people who start working at a very early age and they're not able to study really well. So usually when you're very young and you start working, you don't pay attention to your studies a lot. You start getting a bit of money and you're like, okay, I'm earning money. Why do I need education? Do I need education? Or you're not paying enough attention, right? We cannot exclude them because what they're getting is actual practical experience, which gives you a lot more than just your book knowledge. And that's why MSBM has actually created the programs in a manner that they're assignment based, they're research based, because at this point in the world that we are in, it is not just about cramming from your books and be like, okay, I've written the exam and I've passed it. As long as I've crammed my entire notebook, I'll be able to pass. No, you need to be able to research and think. So critical thinking and analyzing data is very important in the current scenario. This is how MSBM is trying to actually help people. So even those who have not gotten good grades, it's okay. If you are able to research, if you're able to gather knowledge, if you're able to analyze data, why not? So this is what we look at.
Yes, thank you very much for that. One of the other things that I'd like you to talk about a bit is the whole model around assignment based. A lot of people do not know that programs exist that you can actually do while working, and all you have to do is to submit assignments. So can you expatiate on that a bit?
Yes. Okay. Now, I understand that the conventional system has always been once you study a course, you'll sit in an exam, you'll write the exam, you'll have particular notes, you'll study from them. It does not work in this manner, especially in the UK education system. It does not work in that manner. When I say assignment based, it means you should be able to conduct your research, right? And if you're able to conduct research, gather data, and put it in a format which explains it really well, that's all you need to pass, to move to the next level. Because that is the goal of the education, for you to gather knowledge, analyze, and utilize to grow, right? And that is how the
Mhm.
assignment-based system works. So you don't have to sit any exam, you don't have any set timings that, okay, no, at 9 a.m. you'll be having your exam and you have to sit. It does not work in that manner. It does not work in the same manner for the assignment. So everything that you are learning is going to build up to the assignment. So let's say in one module, you are learning leadership and strategic management. You'll be learning about different theories. In the assignment,
Mhm.
you'll be asked to give real life examples from your own life, from your own workplace, to explain how you can connect those theories or those ideas to the real world. That is what assignment based is all about. So you don't need to, you can be working, you can only give time during the weekends, or you can just take out 1 hour a day or 2 hour a day and be like, okay, I have these 2 hours set aside for my studies. Just go through your lectures, conduct research on different ideas, different terminologies. And once you have done that, the last assignment would be about what are the real life implications of what you have learned. So it's not just the names of different theories or name of different people. No, it's about how can you actually implement it in the practical life. So that is
Mhm.
what assignment based is all about.
Yeah.
And in
So
all our programs, they're assignment based and say they're self-paced. So you don't have to worry about your time. If you're a working professional, we have a lot of working professionals studying with us, and we are very mindful of their busy schedules and of their commitments, because it's not just your work life. You also have your personal life. You have your family. You have some people have their children. Some people have their parents. You need to give time to them as well. So at every step, we've been very mindful of how we can make it very impactful, but very easy for all of you.
perfect, perfect. So, you know, I like what you just said because we don't just want to build people who have book knowledge, right? We want to build leaders who can go out there and can take what they've learned and use it to solve real problems. And this
Yes.
becomes very important because the way AI is going now, people are complaining, oh, AI is going to take our jobs, AI is going to do this. If you can develop yourself like this, AI will still need people to be able to use it to solve problems because AI cannot come solve problems itself. People have to be able to
Exactly.
apply
See,
it to solve problems.
now the thing is, even to use AI,
Mhm.
you need to be intelligent. And when I say intelligent, I don't mean that you need to be well read. I mean you need to know how to use your brain. Even if you're using AI to write your
I like
assignments,
that.
your lecturers will catch that in a minute, because when there's AI to write assignment, there is AI to actually track that as well.
Exactly.
You are able to give good commands and let AI structure it for you, and then you can actually elaborate on that, because that will help your brain cells move. We are okay with that, but you need to be able to use your brain and how to implement all that.
Perfect. Perfect. Then the other thing that I wanted us to talk about really quickly is how has been made very flexible for people, both the payment and the time. And I think you touched on that a bit, but I want us to talk a bit about it from the payment standpoint, how we've made this so flexible, right? Because the truth is, people, a lot of people in Africa are trying to get international education, not just get degrees, but they want to get international education, but not many people can actually afford, number one, the upfront costs and the running cost of,
Mhm.
tuition and things like that. And this partnership has really drastically reduced the cost of that. So I'd like you to just explain that a bit.
Okay, so when it comes to flexibility, that is one of our major goal and concern, and now we actually understand. So I remember when I joined MSBM, and we used to talk amongst ourselves. The naira to pound rate was about 500 naira to £1. And I think as of today, it is 2,100 and something naira to £1.
Mhm.
So we are very, very mindful of that. And that is why we have partnered with you. And that is why we are trying to see how we can make it more affordable to the masses. Right. That is why once we partnered, we were able to bring the cost down massively. And then when
Mhm.
it comes to the flexibility aspect, they can actually choose different installment plans, how they want to go on a quarterly plan, because I know that makes it easier for students to go through that process if they have that sort of flexibility. So they can even request dormancy if they at some point they feel, okay, no, right now I cannot afford. They can actually
Mhm.
request dormancy. We have that
Yeah.
option as well. So these are the sort of things that we are trying to do.
So the good thing with this partnership is that it has helped us to be able to find price points for international degrees, masters, bachelors, doctorate degrees that are very affordable, very flexible, and most importantly, very achievable for the average person. You know, there's also, and this is the part that I like the most, there's also a subscription plan, right? I like to describe it as, you can get a degree for the price of your Netflix subscription, you know.
Actually.
And I find that very interesting. So for those who are just hearing this, when we're having the conversation and we started talking about the subscription plans, I'm like, this is genius, because imagine that you could get a degree for the same amount that you pay for your Netflix, your data plan, your this, and you're actually paying that towards a degree. Because
When I say bite-sized courses,
Mhm.
this is what I mean. All
Mhm.
our courses, they've been broken down from full degree programs into smaller bite-sized courses for
Mhm.
easy access for everyone. And when we let them subscribe, when we let people subscribe at a very low cost, they can actually build towards a full degree, which that's the entire idea behind it.
Yeah. So and I like what you just said, because breaking it down like that makes it easier for people to achieve. Um the the good thing is you can do it at your own pace. Like, I'll give you a very practical example. So typically, all right, um the if you wanted to do a degree in the UK, I mean, my wife schooled in the UK. The average you pay per year in tuition minimum is about £15,000 just per year, right? And say it's a 3-year degree, that's 15,000 times three. That's the minimum you pay just for tuition alone. You've not talked about flights, you've not talked about living costs, you've not talked about feeding, accommodation, you've not talked about other expenses, right? With our program that we're in this partnership with MSBM, the cost drops. I think our degree programs are as low as about £6,000 in total, right? And you can break that into any payment plan that you want. Do you want to pay monthly? Do you want to pay quarterly? Do you want to pay weekly? Or do you just want to just do the subscription? The good thing with the subscription plan is that when you take on the subscription plan, you're paying, say, 50, £60 subscription per month. As you are paying that, you are taking your program, you're doing everything you need to do. When you are ready to eventually get your degree, you just pay to get that degree itself. It's everything has been simplified, made so easy for everyone.
Now, this
And
also helps with the duration. I'll explain how. So,
Mhm.
the subscription package, let's say a master's degree program is 12 months. And if you've
Mhm.
enrolled in a master's degree program, maybe you can get a grace of up to 6 months on top of it. That makes the total duration up to 18 months. Now, there's some professionals would be like, okay, I don't have that sort of time. And once they start, they'll be stuck in between, right?
Mhm.
They'll not be able to continue. Now, the subscription gives them the flexibility to be completing the modules however and whenever they want, right?
Mhm.
Gradually. Maybe they did one module this month, another module after 2 months. I'm not I'm not saying that they should, I'm not encouraging, but I'm just giving an example. Maybe after 2 months. And then they did another module after 3 months. But they need to complete 12 modules. Once they've completed those 12 modules, they know that they've completed the entire course work. Now, all they need to do is request an upgrade. That's
Exactly.
it. So they'll not be stuck. They'll not be stuck with that time window of that time frame of 12 to 18 months. No, I have to rush. No, I have to push. No, take it easy. Do it at your own pace. Once you have completed the 12 modules, come and tell us that we need to upgrade and you'll get the upgrade. So you'll not be stuck with the timelines.
Yeah, it's self-paced, totally self-paced. You move at your own pace. No one is rushing you. I'd like us to talk about one more thing before we take questions, if anybody has questions. You know, there are some people who actually would love to eventually go abroad in person to these campuses. And I would like us to talk a bit about the provision for that, because some people might, at the beginning, they might not be able to afford to travel. But as they grow, maybe as they're doing the courses and then they're growing on their career, they're earning more, they might not be able to afford to travel. And this program actually makes provision for us to be able to assist you with being able, you can start your degree here and you can go and complete it in person abroad. So, Ms. Fatima.
I'll explain it to you in a very easy manner. So let's say a UK master's degree program is divided into two parts. It's a level 7 diploma, which is your postgraduate diploma, and then the top up. Now, if you do the 2-year program on campus in the UK, you'll not only be incurring the fee, you'll also be incurring the full fee. You'll also be incurring the accommodation costs, the living costs, and general expenses there. Now, if you break it down, you do your level 7 diploma online with us, you study because it is at a marginally reduced cost. You study it with us online while you save funds for the next part, the top up part. Once you've done that, you can go for your top up on campus. This way you have saved more than 40-50% of your living cost, your accommodation cost, and on your fees. So it just makes more economic sense to do it in this manner. And once you have done your level 7 or once you've done your pathway diploma, it always helps you in getting an admission in one of the UK universities. And some of the biggest universities, University of Gloucestershire, University of Anglo-Ruskin, Coventry, all of these universities actually recognize those pathway diplomas. So if you divide your journey in this manner, it's very easy for you to move and still save marginally. So that's the idea of sort of like a blended program.
Let's talk about the age barrier. Does this have age limit?
There is no age limit because we believe that education is for everyone. There's no age limit. And you'll be surprised to know a lot of our learners, we have learners who are over 50, who are even over 60, because people can get inspiration anytime and people can actually, so I was talking to a student, there was a student that we were meeting with, and he said he want to compete with his son and he wants to complete his doctorate and show it to his son on the day of his master's when he's doing the graduation, the master's graduation. He wants to show it to him and be like, okay, see, I got a doctorate. And he's an entrepreneur, he's 60 plus, but that was his inspiration. He wanted to do something. He wanted to show to his children that growth or education should never stop. So for us, there's no age barrier or there's no age limit. Whenever you feel you're ready, you are always welcome on our platform to study.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Okay, so we have some questions. If anybody has questions, you can put your questions in the chat so we can answer it. We have a question here. Someone is asking, do you assist in getting job before moving abroad to complete the program? And what are the minimum requirements? I think let's start from here. Let's talk about the minimum requirements first. The funny thing is, in my opinion, The minimum requirement to join any of these programs is for you to be a human being. And you're willing to learn. I'm serious, because there's literally no
Your
level.
willingness to learn. That's
Yes.
the first requirement. Yes.
There's really no level at which you can, even if you don't even if you haven't even done SSCE, you haven't even finished secondary school. There are diplomas, there are programs that you can do to get your certification. Ms. Fatima, help me. There are level 3 diplomas or so.
Level 3 foundational diplomas, or level 4 and 5, which are the pathway to the bachelor's degree.
Yeah, and you do that and you can start your bachelor's.
In all honesty, we have some programs for 16 to 25 years old. 25, I know it's a bit higher, but these short courses, they help them develop skills. So even when they're doing their O levels, their A levels, they can be taking these courses, because now in the current, so I've been in the HR environment for a very long time, and in the current job market, even before you have completed your bachelor's, they expect you to have 10 years of experience. And I know that's not humanly possible. So you need to know some skills, you need to know some things. The experience means that you need to have some sort of knowledge. These courses actually help these youngsters to gain that knowledge. It could be customer service, it could be accounting, it could be anything. So instead of going to maybe like McDonald's or KFC to get a counter job, and I'm not saying that there's something wrong with that, I'm just saying that you can actually get something better than that. Because while you're studying, you're also um, gathering extra knowledge. You're also gathering extras from what your peers might not get. So that's how we try to design our courses.
Yeah, and I wanted you to mention something very quickly. So there is this thing where you can what's the word now? You start the program, right? And then you get, let's say you are trying to do a degree, but as you're going, you are getting different levels of diplomas and things like that, right? Those diplomas, can you actually use them to work before you finish your degree?
Yes, you can. So when we were talking about the bite-sized modules, for each module, you'll get a certificate. You can actually use those as individual certificates to add onto your profile until you actually upgrade to a full degree. Or your level 3 or your level 4, your level 5, they can actually, because in the UK system, they don't recognize education as a full 3-year program. They recognize each year, which is the best part of the education system, because if someone is stuck after level 4, it's not that they've lost everything. They'll still have a level 4 diploma. If they've completed level 5, they'll have level 4 and 5 diploma. Then they can choose to top up to a bachelor's degree at whatever time when they feel, okay, no, I want to do a full bachelor's degree. They can actually choose to do that. But they can actually use those diplomas or those certificates as standalone individual documents as well.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ms. Fatima. We have Ms. Tolu back here with us.
Yes.
So let's bring up Ms. Tolu for a bit. Ms. Fatima, thank you. I'm going to bring up Ms. Tolu for a bit to help us answer some of the questions. Ms. Tolu, I can see you answering some of the questions in the chat.
Yes, I was answering some on chat.
Some people are going to watch this and they won't be able to read the chat.
Okay.
So maybe start again from the first one you answered.
Okay, so
the person said, do you assist in getting a job before moving abroad to complete the program, and what are the minimum requirements?
Okay, so essentially that is very difficult, because for the kind of jobs that you can apply for as a student, because you can't work full time, right? So you can only work 20 hours in a week as a student. So for those kind of jobs, you have to be there. They need to see you. So those kind of jobs, they go very fast because they are looking for temporary employees, if you get what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, so it may just be that somebody needs somebody for a project that would go on for 3 months, or you're going to come on as a part-time that works on a shift basis. So in that case, we can't secure that job, and then the person is waiting for you to come before you start the job. Usually when they are looking for someone, they want the person to start more or less immediately. So the best we can do for you is when you get to the UK, we can give you the best places to go. Now, this is what I will tell you for free. You will always find a job. The question will now be, do you like the job or you don't like the job? That's always going to be the question. There are always all kinds of jobs, right? And so it's 20 hours per week. They would not usually be fantastic jobs. But one of the things that we're now telling our students is that, let's assume you're coming in for your master's, right? So you have a level 7 diploma already. So you want to use that level 7 diploma that you got in the UK to look for that job. So when you're looking for a job in the places that we show you, don't look for jobs that, that will frustrate you. Look for jobs that they will appreciate the certificate you have, seeing that it's actually a UK certification, right? So that is the kind of job you want to look for. And no matter what, in those kind of jobs, so when I say those kind of jobs, you're looking at remote jobs, maybe jobs that are like customer service jobs. There are some that they will require you to actually come in. So, but if you have that kind of certificate, they'll probably take you, right? Because they're looking for people that can speak English very well, that can explain things, and they've worked before. And the same thing even goes for those people that take the level 3, 4, and 5 diploma. Because if level 5 diploma is what is known as an HND in other parts of the world, including Nigeria, so you already have an HND. So what you're just coming to do in the UK is to get your bachelor's. So if you go to England, right, you just get bachelor's. But if you come to Scotland, you still be required to do 2 years. So that 2 years that you're doing in Scotland will give you Bachelor of Honors or Honors Bachelors, right? So when you come with your HND, it's easy for you to get all those kind of jobs, either your postgraduate diploma, which is the level 7, or HND, which is the extended level 5 diploma. You're able to get some jobs. But no matter what, most of the time, they will not want to pay you more than 15 hours per hour. I mean, 15 pounds per hour for such a job, right? 300 pounds per week, 1,002 per month. But you now have to put into consideration that you will need roughly between 700 to 1,000 on accommodation and feeding monthly. You have to put that one aside. So I always tell students that it will not be 100% wise for you to come with the hope that your job is where you want to get the money to pay for your tuition fees. Because the truth of the matter is that, number one, it's not as if when you come there, you get the job immediately. Because when you first get to school, the first 1 month to 6 weeks, you're trying to settle down. You're trying to even understand how everything works. Registration in the school places, all of those drama, going to place to go and put down your passport, all those things are always there, and it will take your time. You will not have time to look for any job, right? So that's 4 weeks to 4 weeks to 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Now, after you've now completed all of that, let's even say you're very fast. Let's say before you came, you have done all your registration online, you've done everything, you've given them everything that they've asked for you, because there are some planful people like that. They know how to plan well, right? So let's say you come to the school and then 2 weeks, you're actually through with everything. You still have to put into consideration that you have to look for that job, and you have to also look for a job that you're comfortable doing. Because some of the jobs you find are like maybe child carers, old people carers. So you find some fancy jobs, but it's not always easy, right? It's very important that you understand that. We don't know exactly what the problem is in the UK right now. We don't know if the problem is that there are not enough jobs or there are not enough qualified people. It's a combination of both somehow in a very weird manner. So that is one of the things you have to put in mind. So let's say you now get to the place, you get a job. I always tell people, don't think you get a job earlier than 2 months. You need to give yourself that space. That for 2 months, left to me, I would say 3 months. Go for the worst case scenario. 3 months, I've not found a job that is paying me anything sensible. Because maybe you find a job, maybe you work there for 2 days, it's not working out, to leave it.
Mm-hmm.
They will only pay you for the 2 days you worked, right? So it's only giving you stipends and all of that. And so plan for 3 months. So you need to at least have enough to take care of yourself for 3 months. Now, if you're only earning 1,002, because for you to get a graduate visa, you will need to do your full 1 year, right? So that you can get a
Mm-hmm.
graduate visa, you have to do at least 1 year of study. So 10 months, you're studying. You can only work 20 hours within that 10 months, even if you finish everything before the end of the 10 months. Once you get your letter from the school stating that you have finished everything that you need to do, you may now find some companies that will be willing to allow you to work full-time.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that you need to plan for a 7 to 8 months period where you're earning 1,002 and you have to pay for accommodation and living expenses, which will range between 700 to 1,000 pounds monthly. I'm just putting it that way because the average, let's assume you share apartments with some people, because if you want to stay in the student hostels are even more expensive than none. So don't even bother. Don't bother on that one, because they will say that they are giving you breakfast, they are giving you furnished apartment. So because of that, they will say that
Service
per month,
apartments.
yes, serviced apartments, right? They'll say that they are giving you 1,100 pounds per month. That one you've not even eaten yet. That's just your rent. Unless you want to only be living on breakfast every day, So I would not advise that you should go for that. I would just say go for a normal flat with some people. See if you can get something, that will get you maybe like 500 pounds, and then cook more than buy food outside, so that maybe you can spend maybe like
I hope you
300,
are
400
listening. Cook more.
on gross, like on feeding, right? Because if you do 500, then usually you have to also pay utility bills. All of you will share your utility bill in the place. So all of those costs, by the time you put everything together, right, you don't really have much left. Not enough for you to say, I want to use it to pay my balance to the school. But one of the school that we are partnering with in the UK is allowing our students to pay over an 8-month period. So you could plan yourself. We're also working with student loan providers, right, that can also help you to structure and break down that cost over a longer period. So this is what I would advise. You want to come for your final year in the UK, make sure that before you come there, you have paid a substantial amount through the student loan before coming, so that whatever you're not paying when you get there may just be about, give or take, maybe 300 pounds every month. Which you just squeeze yourself, because you know it's just for 8 months. Squeeze yourself, manage. Anytime anybody is offering you free food, free party, go there, eat there. It's the truth, because at that point you're behaving like a student. If you guys have friends and maybe you're able to come with some friends, I don't know which class of people are coming. If it's a married couple, it may be easy because your husband will be able to work for 40 hours, or the wife will be able to work for 40 hours while you're only working for 20 hours. You combine your resources, you can do something. But I would not advise you to 100% plan that when you get there is when you want to pay the balance of your school fees. It has never worked well for anybody that I have known all these years. And I don't think it will change now, because things have even gotten more expensive now. Meanwhile, we are in discussion with another university in Uzbekistan. I know a lot of people like, where is Uzbekistan again, right? We know. But Uzbekistan is easy for you to get into Europe from Uzbekistan. And the place is around Asia, and it's easy for you to save your funds, because if you're looking at UK, divide it by 5. That is the amount you probably spend in Uzbekistan. So that saves you a lot of money. You can really flex there, and you live a good life, and you can be able to get a good job because you can speak good English. What does this mean for you? It means that you're probably more celebrated because you're an English speaker. You understand? Than if you're in the UK, where everybody that speaks English is a dime a dozen. And as you're applying for this, there's so many immigrants that are also trying to look for that same job that you're looking for. So we are speaking to them. We don't know how people will like it, but we know that Nigerians are very resilient, right? Africans generally are a very resilient lot. We know how to not just survive, but we know how to thrive.
Mm.
Do you understand? So we're speaking with them. We feel like it may be a better alternative to people that just want to get abroad and be able to get like a pathway to Europe.
Mm.
So you can be able to get a pathway to Europe, because once you settle down in such a place, right? And visa here is easy because the school that we're speaking to has tie-ups with the government in such a way that anyone from Nigeria, they said that in fact, they were even saying they want to work on visa on arrival. We now said, no need for visa on arrival, it's okay. We said it's okay, just allow them to just apply for the visa normally and do, but we will see the best way for it in case people like that option. So that is it for the UK, because UK is always good for what it's worth. You finish. If you're lucky, you can get a job instead of having to pay for a graduate visa. But even if not, you can just pay for that graduate visa and still keep looking for a job. And after 5 years, once you have the job, if Kemi Badenoch does not spoil everything before you get there, you should be able to get a passport and indefinite leave to remain. You understand? Because Kemi Badenoch is not saying that he wants
let's hope things remain the way they are.
Let's hope things remain the way they are. You understand? But I believe it will probably remain the way they are right now. So that is it.
Yeah. I have a few things that I would like you to just elaborate on very quickly, which is how much support will or can students get from MSBM, partner institutions, and even Orbra Institute regarding getting their visa, their visa.
100% support. 100% support. We will not allow you to go and spend money for visa fees. It's going to be 100% and it's going to be complimentary. We have, all of us, we've been on this same journey before, and we know how daunting it can be. That makes you feel like you don't even know what you are doing. So we will not allow you to have to go through that stress, right? We will help you through it. And our certificates, because these certificates are awarded by globally recognized institutions or awarding bodies, then they are well recognized. So when we say that you're getting a level 4 and 5 diploma, it's going to be from OTHM Qualifications UK. This is what Caledonian University of Glasgow is accepting. This is what University of Sunderland in England is accepting. But we are thinking that we want to bring more people to Scotland and England, because one thing a lot of people don't know is that there are 4 countries in the United Kingdom. That is Scotland, England, Northern Ireland, and Wales. Now, the only place that has the same laws is England and Wales. Scotland and Northern Ireland, they have different laws. But Scotland has one of the best laws, meaning that if some of you come in and you spend 5 years in Scotland, right? If you come in as bachelor degree students and you spend 5 years in Scotland, you can actually do your master's for free in Scotland, right? If you have children and your children come with you and are able to live in Scotland for 5 years, they will also be for free. Now, in England, they give you student loan. In Scotland, it is for free. The only thing you pay for is your child accommodation. So there are lots of advantages. Plus, in Scotland, they don't see so many Africans. So when you come here, literally most Nigerians are married to whites here. Like those that came, like the newer generation, not our own that we have married from Nigeria before we came here, but the newer generation, like you rarely see an African person who is not married to a Scottish person or, engaged to a Scottish person. Do you understand? Because they don't really see colors. They are kinder. And I'm not saying that there's no, that black thing that's just that small bias, like if there are so many other whites, they'll probably look at the whites first before they look at you. But you have a higher chance because there are less people and there are jobs available, right? London is saturated. So while University of Sunderland sounds very fancy, London is saturated. You go to London, you're at loggerheads with people that have double masters. You don't want to compete with those kind of people. Just want to come to where things are a bit easier and things are cheaper. Things are cheaper in Scotland than in England. So, yeah.
Thank you. Then the other thing that I want us, we need to wrap up now because of our time. But the other thing that I want us to really stress is, 2 things that we'll talk about very quickly. we one of the things that we want to also be able to educate people on is how to make the best of these programs, starting in Nigeria and then going maybe in the final year to finish in person. The real advantage of that for people, I'd like you to talk about the real advantage of you starting here and finishing there instead of you going from the beginning there to go and spend money on tuition, accommodation, all of that for the 3 or 4 years or whatever years that you want to do your program for. Why it's easier for you to start here and go and do your final year there?
Okay, the main thing is cost and preparation. That's the main thing, cost and preparation. One of the things that has affected most students when they come here and this makes them so disillusioned is the fact that they are not mentally or even psychologically prepared for what they find here. You're going to come here and you're going to meet a culture shock. It's very important that you understand that. When I first got to the UK, I used to think UK was like an alternative reality universe because everything that happens in other countries does not happen here. It was such a weird thing because I've lived in the UAE for such a long time. And in UAE, I never felt like I was in an alternate reality. In the UK, I used to feel like that because it's just so weird. A lot of the people there don't like working. They will be hoping that the government will give them money. So many of the children here, they know that, okay, they used to pay per child before, and then they capped it at 4 children. That if you're not married and you have four children, they'll give each other, you're taking care of £500. And if you have 4 children, maybe you have 2 boys and 2 girls, that is equals to 3-bedroom council house that they will give to you. So you now have so many people coming in and they're taking advantage of that. You literally see teenage girls who would give birth to 2 children just so that they can get to £1,000 and a 2-bedroom flat. They'll just be pushing baby pram around, right? And that was such a weird thing to me. Like, why would you just want to be waiting for the government to do stuff for you? Then people that do menial jobs, like plumbers and all of that, it is so expensive. Then they will not be complaining that they don't have any job. And I'm like, it's just normal. I won't tell you to come and fix my tap for £500. I will go and look at YouTube and say I will fix my own tap by myself. Instead of paying you £500 to fix my tap, because that is the reality. You actually pay £500 for somebody to come and fix your tap for you. Right? So it was very, very interesting. You go somewhere, you buy something, you buy furniture from carpenter, right? They'll bring it to your house coupled and arrange it well inside your house. These people, they'll bring it inside carton for you. Then you have to be the one to start reading manual and then screen all the furniture by yourself. And it is more expensive. So it was always like, honestly, so you come here, you have that kind of culture shock. Don't expect that you're going to be appreciated for hard work. More often than most, a lot of them will be angry with you because that means that you are behaving as if you're okay with the money that they are paying you. Right? So if you're going to be, I'm not saying don't work hard, please work hard because somebody is looking. But when you work hard, do it with discretion and tact, so that it does not seem as if you're upstaging anybody. Because if you do that one too, before you know it, you will just find yourself sacked for something you don't even know how it happened. So you need to be very, very careful. You need to live a very calculated life when you get here. Now, when you stay back and you do your course online, all of these things, you learn it. We might even say, come in, maybe for a 6 months, on a 6-month visa, which is easy for you to get that visa. Come in, just 1 week, so that you don't finish spending all your money. Come in, just see how the place feels and all of that. Don't stay in a hotel. Look for an Airbnb so that you can get the feel of what it seems like to live in this place. Go to their supermarkets and all of that. These were things that we never did. And then we came here because you're staying in a hotel. It's a different ballgame mentality than when you're living there. It is very different. Then the costs. So that means that if you want to do your bachelor's, for instance, normally if you're going to do your bachelor's in Scotland, it will probably cost you about £60,000 in total for the 4 years. And if you are if you're in England, it will also cost you nearly that amount, maybe 18,000 times 3. That's like 48,000. So it's nearly 50. So yeah, it's just about the same thing anyway. So you would, it will always advise you don't spend all your money, because this amount that we are talking about is minus accommodation for that 3 years or accommodation for that 4 years. So if you're looking at it from that point of view, that gives you something to work with. So you can do your level 4 and 5 or level 3, 4, and 5 within 2 years if you put your mind to it. Because each level 3, you're only submitting, I think, 3 assignments, not even up to that. For people that don't have WAEC or A levels, you're only submitting 3 assignments. For those in level 4, 6 assignments. Level 5, 6 assignments. So even if you don't have WAEC and all of that, you can say, okay, I'm only submitting 15 assignments. Some people, they can work it out. In 18 months, they will submit all the assignments. So you can actually do that if you want it to be accelerated, so that it's like, okay, if this spends such a long time getting all this done, take all your lectures, go for the webinars, submit assignment, all the resources that they give to you, use it, do what you need to do, get your certification. Once you're through with the certificate, then it's now time for you to say, okay, I want to come. At that time, you're seasoned. You're coming to the country with your level 4 and 5 diploma, or your extended level 5 diploma. You're coming with that. You're showing the employer. When you're applying, they say, oh, I have a higher national diploma. Put all of that there in bracket. You put level 5, because a lot of people here don't have degrees. So that already makes you stand out. For those of you that have level 7, that's even better, because you're writing, I have bachelor's and I have postgraduate diploma. Shaky. They will seriously employ you. So it's just as I said, the fact that it's 20 hours, you may be stuck between 12 to 15 pounds per hour. In some cases, if you want something really fast, maybe 11 pounds per hour, which is the minimum wage. But if you're lucky and they really want, they will give you something more, right? Don't be afraid to apply for everything. Apply for everything and anything. Within reason. So that's not like I'm saying that I should not be backing. Within reason, apply for something that also, like stimulates your ambition, not a place that, destroys it. And then at the end of the day, you start feeling depressed, right? So something like that. So it gives you that time. Plan that time, save some of the money instead of using everything for this thing. Plan that, okay, within this time, I will come to the UK for maybe 2 weeks, stay in an Airbnb, 3 weeks, even 1 month, if you can help it, 1 month. Airbnb, at the end of the day, you may not spend more than the cost of 10 to 15 days in a hotel if you use Airbnb. Then live like you will live in the country. Cook, go out, buy things. Where do they have this? Where do they have that? Try to understand how it works, so that when you come, everything doesn't seem like such a shock to you, right? So that is the advantage of doing this, preparing. You come in, you feel like a seasoned person. Everybody be like, have you lived in the UK before? No, I've not though. I've been visiting, even though you visited once. You understand? Right. Yes.
Then lastly, let's talk a bit about the student loans. I know we've been having conversations around student loans and how to make it accessible to people in Africa. So let's talk a bit about that. How would it work? What should people look forward to? And most importantly, I think the question for me is for Africans who are here, who want to do their programs from here, and who hope to eventually maybe move to the UK at some point. How can they, what's the benefit, and how can they enjoy these student loans and use this to take the programs with us?
Yeah, they can definitely use it anyhow. So let's assume you want to do a master's. Just do the 2 years student loan, or it depends. Let's assume, okay, you want to come to the UK, right? Maybe you're like, I don't want, because if you're thinking of going to the UK, so maybe you want to come to the UK next year, September. This is a good time to start, so that you can start preparing towards it and start taking your student loan that will help you spread the money very well, right? So that whatever you're going to be paying when you get here is very small. So if you, let's say you start in June to September next year is, I think, 15 months. Yeah, June, July, August. Yeah, 15 months. So you've already done 15 months out of the bulk of your payment. So if they give you the costs, I don't know how much OLI is doing it, but if they give you the costs, you can now spread it out over 24 months, see where that takes you, right? And so that by the time you come, whatever you are paying over the remaining 8 months, right, it's not so much.
It's minimal.
Because as we said, Glasgow Cathedral University allowing our students to also pay over 8 months. So if you plan it well, you can literally spread your payments over nearly 30 months. Or even 30 months. 30 months. You probably spend your money over 30 months, which sort of helps. It's just that money has gotten spoiled so much, so even when the money is 250 pounds, that is still quite a handful in Nigeria. Or it's an easier amount to pay if you want to, spread yourself better instead of, choking yourself, big funds. So it's available to everybody. You just need to apply for it. We'll take you through the process. So far, you've not been a criminal before, right?
Very important.
I think that's the only credit check. Just to be sure that you've never entered jail before. If you've not gone to jail before, then definitely. But even if you've gone to jail before, we'll not advise you to also apply for UK visa because they'll reject it. So that's it.
As we wrap up, I'll just like to say a few things. That this partnership is not just about education. It's really about uplifting our people, right? The opportunity is huge. Breaking down the cost of the degree when you are doing these programs with us is significantly lower than even the cost is even lower. MSBM has done it so well that the cost that you pay as Africans is even lower than the cost you pay if you were going to MSBM directly themselves, because the whole partnership is really designed to uplift Africans, right? So thank you very much, Ms. Tolu. I'm going to post the platform. The platform is go to orbra.institute, orbra.institute, to look up the courses, select the course you want, and then you can apply. As we close, Ms. Tolu, I don't know if you have any closing remarks for those who will be listening to us or those who will be watching the replay as we close.
Just start it. If you keep over planning, you'll probably never do what you need to do. Just start it. Start it, understanding that even if you're stuck midway, you have people that are very mindful of the circumstances to allow you some freedom to restart again when you've been able to gather yourselves together. But start it so that even if you have to stop midway because of one issue, by the time you're restarting, you're not starting all over again. You're starting from where you stopped. So that's what I would just advise everyone. Just start it.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Ms. Tolu. Thank you, Miss Fatima. Is Miss Fatima still with us on the call?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I can see you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks to the entire Orbra Leadership Institute team. It's been a lot of work putting this together, and I'm glad that we have finally now officially started and launched it. So congratulations to us all.
Yes.
We'll now start enrolling students. We hope that we're able to help as many as possible, as many people who are interested in, also continuing in the UK, to help them to make that transition as well. I believe that this would help a lot of people. A lot of people are trying to figure out what to do with life, with getting jobs, traveling abroad, a lot of things like that. If you'd like to, we're going to share the link to the replay to everyone so that you can go back and watch the replay. But thank you very much for joining us, everybody. We've come to the end of the info session. I don't think we have any more question. We'll look forward to enrolling you. Our partner institutions look forward to enrolling, and we're onboarding more institutions. Ms. Solu just mentioned that. So just get ready. We're onboarding more universities into the program. All right, bye everyone.
All right, bye-bye.